Okay, we've got a statement now that's been issued by the national carrier Air India, and they're saying that, in fact, the statement says, and I quote, "The matter was conveyed to the pilot in command. The pilot in command reported that the aircraft systems were operating normally. It was decided to divert the aircraft to Mumbai. As a precautionary measure, all 130 passengers and 6 crew members on board the aircraft were alighted safely." Let's go back to Santia Gora, who brings us this information. Santia, the airline seems to be putting the onus now on the pilots completely. But also, questions have to be asked about the officials of Air India as well, who were at the Trichy airport, who were informed of the damage that this aircraft did to the wall, and therefore what could have done to the aircraft itself, and what part they played in allowing the aircraft to travel.
See, absolutely, as far as the statement of Air India is concerned, both the pilots were informed about the fact that how the lower wheels of the plane has hit the airport wall and the damage. At that time, the pilot said that everything seems under control, but still it was told to them that an emergency landing will be done at Mumbai airport as a precautionary measure. And if we talk about the emergency landing, it did take place at around 5:30 in the morning under all the procedure followed by Mumbai airport. But when the flight landed, as I said, it was shredded open. The underbelly portion of the flight was absolutely damaged. All the 130 passengers plus 6 crew members were deboarded from the plane. They all are said to be safe, and the passengers, they have now taken another flight to Dubai, as it was a flight from Trichy to Dubai. But if we talk about the investigation part of the entire matter now, both the pilots, they are put off duty. They are no more a part of the roster, and the investigation will be done. And yes, the onus to a great extent, by the looks of it, it lies on the pilots, because when they were told of the incident, they could have easily taken a U-turn and they could have landed back at Trichy airport, which could have avoided the risk. Because with such a damaged plane, the plane came from Trichy to Mumbai. There were 130 passengers and 6 crew members in the plane. There were 136 lives at stake, and that is why the pilots have to be answerable. And apart from both the pilots, the ATC of Trichy airport, those people will also be under the scanner. That why couldn't they manage to get the pilots to bring the plane back to the Trichy airport? So all these people will now be investigated by the airlines also at their level, and the DGCA also.
Right, and let's go back to Chandrasekhar Nene to understand the protocol a little bit about what should have followed here. From what we understand, and from what Air India is saying as well, is that the information was passed on to the pilots. The pilots said nothing wrong with the aircraft, it seems fine, and we carry on. But once they assess the damage that's been done to the wall, I think it's pretty obvious, what damage it would have done to the aircraft also. You think the ATC can wash its hands off and the situation and say that this is entirely the pilot's fault? Mr. Nene?
Actually, it is, we can say it is the pilot's fault if the ATC has confirmed that they have informed the pilot. It is definitely the pilot's fault, because he should have taken cognizance of the thing, because ATC says that they have informed to the pilot, isn't it?
Right.
They should have taken the cognizance of this information, stopped the flight, had it inspected by the engineers, and then only taken. Actually, the safety inspector should have inspected it first, then only they should have taken off. That is very important. I mean, that's a standard procedure in the airline operations. I don't know why we are even debating this thing.
Well, it's certainly laid out in the standard operating procedure. Thank you, Chandrasekhar Nene, as well as Santia Gora, for joining us. 136 people were on board, including the pilots and the crew. Their lives are put at risk as this flight stayed in the air for 4 long hours after it hit the boundary wall at the Trichy airport in Tamil Nadu and then landed only in Mumbai. It was on its way to Dubai.